RHONY Jessel Taank says Brynn Whitfield's lies about her husband were damaging. Jessel Taank and Brynn Whitfield have had their disagreements on The Real Housewives of New York City, and now Taank is responding to comments Whitfield made on the reality show. On a recent episode, Whitfield insinuated that Tank's love of her life was not her husband, Pavit Randhawa. Whitfield claimed that Taank told her about an ex that her family would not approve of, and that was the real love of Tank's life. She also claimed that Taank had a new face and new teeth at the start of the season. Taank responded to Whitfield's comments on Page 6 Virtual Reality podcast. On the episode, Taank addressed Whitfield talking about her relationship with her husband. She claimed that Whitfield was not a girl's girl and went on to explain the situation. According to Taank, the story that Whitfield was recounting was one about all of the women and the craziest hookups they've had, not anything to do with the love of her life. I mean, talk about not being girls, Taank said. Brynn's story about the love of my life, that was a complete distortion. Taank went on to explain how the entire thing was made up. What that actually was we were talking about the craziest hookups we've ever had, she said on the podcast. There was no mention of love of my life. That wasn't even in the conversation. I would have said my husband is, because that's the guy I married. Jessel Taank says Brynn Whitfield's lie was hurtful to her marriage. Taank went on to talk about how the story she told the housewives was harmless, but Whitfield's distortion of it was damaging to her and Randhawa's marriage. I told this story, and she distorted my entire story and twisted and manipulated it. And in a way that was actually very damaging to my marriage, Taank said on the podcast. Watching that back, I had no clue that was even discussed. So I'm sitting on the couch with Pavit, of all people, and my jaw is on the floor because I'm just like, wait, that never happened. Tank's response comes after a season of Whitfield bending situations. She has lied about many of her fellow housewives, and it got to the point where Whitfield and Erin Litchie had a massive fight on the show because of how Whitfield would lie about situations.